Told, aren't we, in this very woke world that we need to do a lot more to be anti-woke, that sort of stuff. And I think what's interesting also about the woke world is this. We now have massive organisations coming out and telling us that they're struggling in these very difficult times. The cost of living crisis. We recently had a brand new CEO of Marks and Spencer's, a lady no less, basically saying, well, I'm being paid millions of pounds a year, but I'm only working 4 days a week because that's what I agreed with the bosses. Very nice if you can get it, don't you think? Shame it's not reflected though, isn't it, on the everyday prices of the everyday people that they expect for them to come and shop in their stores. You get the picture. So we did a little bit of investigating for you, because what's interesting to note with all of this particular, well, shall we say, woke world of, support everything, eat only green, plant food, etc., etc., it's also terribly expensive. But is that the real story behind why so many of these supermarkets are now claiming that they can't make any money? Let me explain. Morning, Neil Sean here in the very heart of London. This story really will resonate with anybody around the world, simply because, as we all know, well, the fat cats get richer, of course. The people like ourselves have to make do amend, as they said in the war. And what I find incredible, and I do find this very annoying, and I'm sure you'll all agree with me on this, is we do live now in a very digital world. That's, there's no escape of it, is there? Whether it be your phone for your alarm clock, if you think about that years ago, everybody had an alarm clock. Now we just tend to look at our phones, don't we? Or the the timer on the TV in the bedroom or something like that. But what's interesting to note is this. Have you noticed how those supermarkets that are basically saying, well, you either go digital or you lose out, are the ones that are turning away thousands of pounds, literally, of your money every single day because they don't want your money? Let me explain. I was in a recent Tesco store here in the very heart of London, right? There was a massive queue for all of us wanting to pay cash. I mean, a huge queue. One lady struggling on her own, 4 people literally by the card machines, nobody going to help. I was told by their staff that they couldn't help because they want people to actually use a card. They want to completely do away with cash entirely by 2024. Well, what that really means is, of course, they don't want to pay for the money removal every night to take to the bank, or indeed they don't want to pay for the staff to scan your goods through. You're literally going to be like going in and out of a drive-through McDonald's. You bag it yourself, you scan it yourself, and then you just use your card. No interaction at all. So why are they truly then saying to the people that matter, the shareholders, oh well, money's going to be down? Literally, I saw people down in baskets because it was a hot day and nobody wanted to just wait in line while this one woman was going, as I say, at a pace to put this stuff through. What's interesting here though is, obviously, companies like Tesco, and they're not alone, Morrisons, Sainsbury's are all the same. They'd rather you walk out and not spend than force you back at a later date, but this time armed with a credit card. The cost of living crisis really does hit everybody. How many people will find that their credit cards are being refused? How many people simply can't get a credit card because of bad credit previously? Cash is always king. And literally, if you have some money, at least you could buy a small meal, a tin of soup, something like that to get you through. If you literally have no credit and they've refused in your cash, then where are you truly going to be? Well, the stores will simply shrink down and get smaller and become more self-sufficient. You, the general public, will be squeezed out by simply not having a credit card. And that is not all about suiting you, it's about suiting them. The slogan, "Every little helps" by Tesco, really doesn't apply to you or me. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.